Cambodia has marked its National Day of Remembrance, honoring the victims of the brutal Khmer Rouge regime 50 years on. More than 1 million people are believed to have died between 1975 and 1979, with the true death toll still unknown. Chhengpor Aun is a researcher at Cambodian public policy think tank Future Forum, and he joins us now. Chhengpor, good to have you with us today and appreciate your time. Can you first tell us how this National Day of Remembrance is being commemorated in Cambodia this year?
Yes, different political party, different political actor and social organization have organized differently on the way they commemorate the Day of Remembrance this year. Namely, the leader of the Cambodian ruling party, the Cambodian People Party, celebrate the day in different geography across the country, but at the population level, there is not much of commemoration. It's just another day that goes by in Cambodia.
So do you think it is important that Cambodians don't forget what happened during the Khmer Rouge years?
Of course, because there are two different commemoration of the Day of Remembrance. One group of the political spectrum tend to try to commemorate the April 17, the day that the fall of Phnom Penh in 1975, and the ruling party tend to commemorate May the 20th. So there are different way and different day of remembrance, but what people across political spectrum agree on is the Khmer Rouge is bad, the atrocity is real. Everybody in Cambodia lost somebody they know during the regime, and the key message across political spectrum is never again.
Yes, but how do Cambodians in particular, and older Cambodians, feel about commemorating such a horrific and even evil part of Cambodia's history? Do all of them necessarily want reminders of that particular era?
It depends on the traumatic experience, because there are different degrees. You live in different regions during the regimes. You got different treatment from the regime as well. So yes. It depends on their experience, direct experience during the Khmer Rouge. So somebody with very traumatic experience would want to go on, but somebody else would still have the courage to carry on the dialogue across generations.
Yeah, so it has been a bit of a divisive issue, depending on which part of Cambodia you're at?
It depends on which Cambodian you ask. It depends on whether or not how traumatic their experience can be, how many people they may lost during the regimes, and how bad the treatment they receive during the regime. So it have long-lasting effect on the way they carry on the memory and the remembrance that we have seen today.
And so do you think Cambodia as a nation and its government is doing enough to ensure that future generations don't forget and ensure that they know what happened between 1979 and between 1975 and 79?
Oh, it's never enough to educate this across population, especially the population with direct and near direct experience of the Khmer Rouge are shrinking fast from year to year. So you have a vast majority of Cambodians like myself who were born after the Khmer Rouge, even after the Civil War. And you have no direct experience, no direct memory. So you depend on first education system and second the dialogue within the family. If the survivor within the family is courageous enough to speak about it openly with the future generation like myself.
So what do researchers like yourself hope might happen in terms of education?
I would hope that there would be more open discussion about the regimes to move in the history book, in the education system. You move from what happened, when it happened, to why it happened and how it happened, to allow this space to be freely discussed, and the issue and the freedom given to the people to research and to commemorate in their own way. But what is the red line should be this: it's never again. Khmer Rouge is bad, and the atrocity really took place. It's undeniable.
Yes, and of course, 50 years on and seeing what Cambodia is today, and the political system that it has, almost a one-party system, really. Do you think lessons of that time were learned from Pol Pot's reign?
Of course, in the ruling party, the key message, key political message for the Day of Remembrance today is you have to keep the peace and stability in the country so that this kind of horrific event would not repeat itself. But on the other side of political spectrum, people who are opponent to the ruling party, who live both within Cambodia and live abroad, they tend to encourage more and more open discussion about the regime. So it's still divisive, but I hope people could still find consensus at some point and commemorate the Day of Remembrance in their own way, in their respective space.
Okay, well, Chhengpor Aun, really appreciate your time with us and explaining it all for us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.